Man, Future has definitely got the stock photo album cover on lock. Wonder what his next album will be called. Maybe Women Laughing Alone with Salad? What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're an indie artist looking for an album review and some promo, you can hit up Luke at redmattersite.com. And what I have for you boys and girls today is my review for the mega hyped Drake and Future album, or mixtape, whatever you want to call it. I've seen it called both, but I'm going to go with album. This is my review for the Drake and Future album, What a Time to Be Alive. And do you think it lived up to the hype? That's what I want to know. Do you think this project lives up to what Drake and Future, two of the biggest names in rap, could do? Like, do you think they can do better than this, or do you think this is them at their best? Because in my opinion, I think the hype surrounding this album was much bigger and much better than the actual music that we got. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think this album is all out 100% awfulness and straight up trash, but is it really that exciting? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this just sounds like DS2 leftovers or extra tracks that Future had kicking around with some Drake sprinkled on top. I mean, the production is alright. You got Metro Boomin and the South Side bringing a lot of that 808 heavy trap style that Future had going on DS2. But that's kind of what the problem is. It all just sounds very familiar, and it's like I heard it all already. I mean, DS2 was a pretty dope album in my opinion. I still bump that in my car, and you can check my positive review for that on my channel. So I'm not a hip-hop elitist who doesn't understand and appreciate bangers and basic content. It's just, this was a letdown to me, man. It's not that I was expecting socially conscious boom bap rap from Future and Drake, but I really think that they could have experimented a bit more because they're two of the biggest names out there. So I mean, if they took a little bit of a risk, I don't think it would ruin either of their careers. But at the same time, I can kind of understand why they played it simple, because maybe this is what they wanted to do. Just make a collaboration to capitalize off all the hype they had built up and just give people some bangers for the club, in the car, parties, or whatever. But man, this shit was just boring to me. The content is just what you expect, so I'm not going to break down every song, hence this being a rant review, by the way. If you ever see rant review, that just means I'm not going to use as many cuts. I'm just telling you straight up how I feel, more or less off the dome. I do take a couple of notes, but this is just me ranting. You know what the word rant means, look it up. Alright, I'm getting off track. Now, let's get back to this. The content is mostly just what you expect. Foreign bitches, foreign cars, jewelry, Dom P sipping, etc, etc. And the only song that I found to be really interesting on here was the 30 for 30 freestyle, and this one is a Drake solo that's just one long Drake verse over some 40 Shabib production. So to me, this song was kind of like a sneak preview of what we might get on Views from the Six, because it has that vintage and classic Drake sound that you expect. He also addresses a lot of things, from women who are asking for paternity tests, the ghostwriting shit, and just all kinds of stuff that Drake likes to address in these songs where he drops long verses. You know, just like all those This Time in This Place songs. I just think I really would have liked this album a lot more if DS2 didn't come out just 2 months ago, because like I said, this has a very familiar sound to me, and it's just kind of like DS2 with some Drake put on throughout. It doesn't sound like a big major album put together by these two artists who, like I said, they could have experimented just a little bit. I'm not saying I expect them to save the world or anything like that, but a little bit of a risk would have been nice, because this is all very typical, and that's why I give it a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's all out awful trash, because for some banging party music, turning up, blasting in your car, it's gonna work for you. And even though I do like Future and Drake, I think If You're Reading This, It's Too Late was a great project, and I think DS2 was a great project, and I also think Where You At was a dope track that they put together. But both of them meshing together on this album, it just really didn't hit me as hard as I would have liked it to have hit me. But that's just what I thought about it. This was my rant review. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys like this style from time to time. I do like to break down projects a lot more, but every now and then when I feel strongly about a project, like this one, I'd rather just rant a bit and tell you my feelings in that way, rather than break down every song. And I mean, there's not a whole lot to break down here as far as lyrics and content go anyway. But I do have to mention that Future did take a little bit of a jab at Meek Mill on the song Big Rings, when he said that Meek Mill is just a battle rapper who's all about that jibba jabba, and he also brings up how Meek Mill drops subliminals, because while Meek was performing at one of his shows, I guess his DJ had some Future playing, and Meek didn't like that, and he told him to cut it off. So, you know, he's kind of salty, and I guess Meek is going to take a bit of an L with this one, because Apparently he really likes Future's music. At least he said something like that not long ago and said he was going to do a project with Future. And here comes Drake swooping in to do a project with Future. You can't spell Meek Mill without two L's.